XDefiant announced ahead of its launch, like a week or two ago, that they were not going to have skill-based matchmaking in unranked modes after you get past the like kind of training wheels, which is I think the first 25 levels, I want to say. So after you get your feet under you, there's no skill-based matchmaking if you are not playing in ranked, which people are like, great. That to me has been the solution for a long time. If you want to play ranked, or if you want skill-based matchmaking, if you really want to challenge, that's where ranked comes in. Otherwise, just let it be a free-for-all. The problem is now there are so many sweaty people that like to stomp on people that they will go into unranked just to stomp on casual players, when really they probably should be in ranked, but they just want the easy game, so they go into casual and then curb stomp. And we actually ran into this last night. I tried booting up and playing some XDefiant with some friends and my brothers and Nikki, and honestly, like, the first match we loaded into with no skill-based matchmaking, we went up against a team. They were all together. They were all like one group or one clan, whatever you call it. And they just absolutely curb stomped us. Like, it was not even close. And granted, we're not great, but it was just like a total sweaty blowout. You know, the types of guys that are doing all the slide canceling constantly, their cameras shaking back and forth violently. It's just, it gives you a stroke just looking at it. That was them, every single one of the players on their team. And for them, I'm sure they were having a great time. For us, we were not having a good time. Like, it made us shut down the game and go play Overwatch instead, because it was so sweaty, it sucked the fun out. And this is the thing that people don't seem to bring up when they talk about like not liking skill-based matchmaking, is there's always another side of it. If you're curb stomping noobs and having an easy game, someone else is having a really bad game. Like, this isn't that hard to understand, but people don't really care. They just want to be able to get 30 kills in a match, right? But for the developer, their hope is that everybody's having a good time, because you'll spend money whether you are a good player or a bad player. You might even spend more money if you're a bad player. Who knows? I don't know what the stats say. But for them, they're only caring about that. And so that's why games like Call of Duty have so consistently kept skill-based matchmaking, because when they do those little surveys every 15 matches or whatever it is, and they ask, did you just enjoy the match you played? When they have skill-based matchmaking turned on, the average response is higher than when it's off, which is not even like really a controversial thing. They've said this in like dev updates when people have been like, take skill-based matchmaking away from Call of Duty, make it like the good old days or whatever. I want to curb stomp people. But they're like, when you look at the whole player base, it's not actually that great. This is funny. XDefiant dev agrees that with no skill-based matchmaking, if you're not finding easy enemies, it's because you are the easy enemy. Which is kind of a savage way of being like, yeah, if you notice everywhere you go, all the matches you're playing, you're getting curb stomped, it's probably because you suck. So there's that. It's pretty savage. It's pretty savage. Honestly, I think the balance that they've hit is fine. I think doing unranked with no skill-based matchmaking and bringing skill-based matchmaking into ranked is fine, but it's actively like, it turned off my whole group to the game. We, after going up against those sweaty players, who I'm sure had a great time, you know, they didn't actually win by much, but it felt like they were just stomping on us. We had better objective control, but they had way more kills. You know, they were playing it like one of those good old Call of Duty multiplayer lobbies. And so I'm sure they had a great time, but everyone else in my party was like, screw this. No, we're gonna go play something else. And so just there, like, they lost 5-6 players, whatever our group count was. I think it was 6 of us. Like, that was an instance of skill-based matchmaking, and the imbalance that not having it can bring led to one group having a really good time and another group literally quitting the game and going and playing something else. And that was after my brothers had been playing for like an hour or two before that, and they said that probably 60-70% of matches were against those sweats. That just made it not really fun. Yeah, the bunny hopping. Yeah, it's like, again, the types of people that like that kind of gameplay love it, and they love curb stomping people with it. But the people who are just booting it up to try to have fun with their friends, it doesn't strike a good balance with that. So I just think that skill-based matchmaking, I understand why some people, especially the sweaty tryhard types, why they don't like it, because they want to have an easy game every once in a while. Just like all of us, we all would love that. But in order for one person to have an easy game, somebody else has to have a miserable game. And you have to remember that when you're thinking of the gaming community that's playing this game on the whole, because that group we played against had a great time. We had a terrible time, and it actually made us shut down the game. So for Ubisoft, we'll see if they keep skill-based matchmaking relegated just to ranked, or if they tweak stuff. But I would be fascinated to see what the stats say. Because for us, we booted it up, played, and then we're like, nope, we're good. We're good. But they just need some sick clips for their TikToks. Yeah, you know those TikToks where it's all just like, hold up, wait a minute. And then they play like 15 memes of like, oh, let me shove the carrot in the fish's mouth. And then, oh, let me go and show the clip of Donkey from Shrek kicking somebody. And then like they just go through all of the different memes, and it's just the most ADHD riddled thing you've ever seen in your life. I felt like I was playing against the guys that make those videos. Yeah. Yeah, but skill-based matchmaking makes every game even, which means every game people use every trick in the book because they gotta be on their A game. Yeah, no, like I said, I understand both sides of it. I like having easy games every once in a while, whether we're playing Warzone, Fortnite, Overwatch, whatever. It's fine to have some easy games. But honestly, like, maybe this is just weird. I like games that are closer. I like playing games where it comes down to the wire. Those are the games that I tend to find more engaging and more interesting. Because like we've all done it, whether you're playing like old school Overwatch or if you're playing Valorant or whatever, and you have a total blowout. You're playing Valorant, you win 13-0, and it's just a curb stomping. It honestly doesn't get that, like it stops being fun. It's not even close to engaging. Whereas when it's close, it's like, oh, this could go either way. Let's see, let's mess around with it. You know, it's much more interesting. Oh yeah, William Knife Man. Or whatever it is, yeah. Yeah, you know exactly the clips I'm talking about. Yeah, Joaquim, I mean, it might have lost you guys, but for me, someone who stopped playing COD because I don't want to have to sweat every game to get 15 kills, they gained a player in me while COD lost one. Yeah, and we'll see long-term how it stays. And it might just be, you know, that the market will create, you know, the gaps for each player. And for somebody like you, Joaquim, you might find XDefiant is a better fit for you. But I think eventually all of the people that you're stomping on for the easy matches, they're just gonna leave. And then you're just gonna be left with basically high skill players. Granted, with no skill-based matchmaking on, but the only people playing are the sweaty types. And so it's just gonna end up being the same thing all over again, you know? But I've seen some of you guys are stupid good at COD and games like this, so you're probably gonna be fine either way. You're probably gonna be just fine, let's be completely honest. Yeah, it's an interesting balance, because I see how you could argue that both sides of it have their perks and disadvantages. And maybe the best thing about it is that XDefiant as a game can have one approach and COD can have another. And it's just like a real-time experiment. We can see which fits better and which actually works out better, you know? So I'm kind of a fan of the balance. He took my thing. Red flag.